Hey guys, Foster here, and today I'm doing something a little bit different to what I normally do. Normally, I'll do like a play with my friends online, or actually soon there's gonna be some Forest gameplay out. I'm actually gonna fail on the first attempt, but who cares about that at the moment? But I'm doing something different. I'm gonna do something informative, something kind of breaking things down. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about Battlefield Hardline, the new Battlefield game that's coming out in like 5 or 6 months or something, and it's in closed beta at the moment. You might have got in, you might not have got in, but I got in, and I've had the chance to play the game. And I thought I'd just kind of share with you: is the game gonna be worth pre-ordering or buying just when it comes out? What's different? Anything that's good with it, really. And I think it's definitely different. It's definitely good. One of the things I was skeptical with when I first, heard about, what's going on with it was, is it a Battlefield game? I'm not a massive, hardcore Battlefield veteran. But I started playing a Bad Company 1, only played that single player though, and then came online with Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, then Battlefield 1940. It was either 42 or 43, whichever one's the most recent one. And then Battlefield 3 and 4. And I love those games because they were Battlefield games, with the proper tanks and jets and helicopters. And that's what I love about Battlefield. I'm not amazing at it, but I love the game at heart. And is this a Battlefield game? I think so. It still feels like a Battlefield game to me, even though it's not got a lot of this, heavy focus on, armor and fight and kind of big, heavy battles. I still feel like it's a Battlefield game. So I've got to give Visceral and DICE, because they are still working on this, DICE, Visceral, DICE and EA props, because it still does feel like a Battlefield game, and it's not too bad. One of the main things that is really enjoyable about it, even though it's still a Battlefield game, is the large focus on infantry combat. Now, yeah, like I said before, Battlefield games is a lot to do with vehicles. I do like the focus that it has on infantry combat, and there are going to be other game modes that focus with more vehicle things. At the moment, this is infantry combat focused. It's the beta. There's not a lot in there. We've just got 2 game modes and 1 map that we can play on. But I still enjoy it, to be perfectly honest. And one of the things that shows it's really more infantry focused is the amount of small arms fire damage vehicles suffer. You can see I was just in a transport helicopter actually, and the amount of damage I took from small arms fire was like I was being shot at by an AA gun, because of the it was pretty large amounts of damage. And that's good. It gives infantry, because normally in Battlefield 4, if you play Conquest or something, you'll pick the engineer or support or recon. Well, I will at least, because they have C4 or rocket launchers, so I can deal with vehicles. But in this, anyone can deal with the vehicle. I personally think that's nice. Now, the vehicles themselves that are in the game aren't perfect, bless them. For example, you saw maybe in the transport helicopter earlier, when I was in the gunner position, it was a bit awkward because sensitivity in some vehicles is fairly low, but in other vehicles is really high. I'm not sure if you could change that. I'm not changing much. I like the game how it is for the standard controls, and I'm just going to leave it. But when I was using the minigun in the transport chopper, the sensitivity was all over the place. But later on, when I get in an armoured truck, it's quite slow. So it needs some tweakings, but remember, this is beta, everything's subject to change. But I do still enjoy the way the vehicles play out. I think it's a lot more balanced. Speaking of balanced, I really like this game mode here, which is Blood Money. The 2 game modes we can see at the moment, Blood Money and Heist, are fairly similar and different to things we've played before. In a way, Heist is kind of like Rush, but it's not long enough. It's not a big enough game mode. In Heist, you'll have 2 armoured trucks. Yeah, the attackers have to breach into both of the armoured trucks, take money out of them, and then take the money to a safe location. But you only have to do it once. In Rush, you'd have the MCOMs, and you'd have multiple MCOM after MCOM. So, I don't know if they're going to change it or not, but at the moment, it's kind of, heist games are kind of short, because you've just got those 2 trucks and then game over. Blood money, I really like. Because, I mean, you can see at the moment in this game, we're not winning. You know, from the scoreboard, it looks like we're losing by a fair bit. And, you know, we are. We're not forward. But the games in Blood Money can change in an instant. Because I think before this, we were winning, or we might not have been, I'm not too sure. But you could have almost a full vault in Blood Money, and the enemy team have nothing. And if, when you're getting together that last bit of money to try and secure the victory, if the enemy team comes to your vault, they could take all of your money and you'd have nothing, and then they'd suddenly win. The game can change up so much, and I really do like it. And if you've got really balanced teams, the game goes on for quite a while, and it's a proper good battle, and I really do like that. Now on screen right now, you've seen that I'm activating, there you go, my perk. Now, I quite like this perk system, actually. Before, in Battlefield 4, if your squad did well, you would be awarded, you know, squad points, and you'd eventually get those squad perks. In Battlefield 3, you chose what you had. Battlefield 3 had the best version, in my opinion, where you could choose what you had. But this version isn't too shabby. Because in Battlefield 4, the issue was, if you didn't have a great squad, you screwed. You couldn't get any squad perks. But now, if you do well, you can have squad perks. If you do well, you get rewarded. And I really think that's good how it is. So, I'll talk about vehicles. They're good. I like them. They're the way they balanced it out. But one of the vehicles actually I like in particular, the way that they've changed it slightly, are the scout helicopters. You already remember from before, scout helicopters, they'd have about 5 seats, no, I think 4 seats actually, pilot, 2 passengers, and they'd go around, you know. They were fairly dominant actually, I guess. They're kind of dominant now still, but they're not too dominant on infantry. They've changed it slightly, so you actually have to have good aim to kill infantry, and I quite like that, I must admit. Because you can't just have someone who's, you know, managed to fly so long that they've got the cannons to do splash damage to kill infantry. You have to actually aim. And I like how they've changed the scout helis so that you don't have 4 seats anymore. You've got the 2 seats. You've got a pilot and you've got a gunner. Kind of like the attack helis in a Battlefield series. Now, the pilot has his cannons, but they're not as powerful as in Battlefield 4. That you actually have to aim, and the gunner will have the minigun, like you're used to in a transport heli. And I really like that, because the minigun is more effective, in my opinion, against vehicles, and the cannon against the infantry, but it's not too overpowered. And one of the things I really like about vehicles as well, is how you can take them out with small arms fire. I know I said that before, but when that car came beneath me, and I unloaded some of my mag into him, I did 34 vehicle damage with not even a full magazine of an assault rifle. So it's actually a viable option to be an infantryman right now. Now, how was the game's netcode? Because after Battlefield 4's many issues, they've patched it. Is it better? We're not too sure yet. But Battlefield Hardline, how is the quote-unquote netcode? It's alright, it doesn't seem too bad. I haven't been killed round the corner yet. I almost, I got shot as going round the corner before. Once behind the corner, I didn't die. So it seems alright. And at this current stage, Battlefield Hardline is operating on a 10 hertz tick rate kind of thing. I can't remember what the one is. But it's basically it's operating as Battlefield 4 was pre-netcode patch. So in theory, it should be just as bad. But it's not. It's pretty damn good. And they're going to upgrade it because they've learned from the CTE and Battlefield 4. So this game, I think, shows promise. I'm not saying you should pre-order it because I'm not going to. I'm going to play a bit more of the beta. I'm going to see how I feel about this. But is this a Battlefield game you should get? Maybe. It seems alright. There's no massive screen shake with explosions. There's no cluster fuck of explosions like in Battlefield 4 when you would, pre-netcode patch, when you had, you just got Operation Locker 64-man. It's like you're in Haiti when there's an earthquake. It was horrible. But this is alright. I'm not seeing too many problems with Battlefield Hardline. But then again, I have talked a lot about the good stuff in this video. You can see when you run, I know it's a small thing, but the running's quite sluggish. It feels slow, but it's not. It's the same speed. Something that is good with speed, actually, I forgot to mention, is vehicles. They've got good speed, they've got good handling, really good. Props to Visceral, they've implemented that well, or it might have been DICE that changed it. I don't know. Whoever, they did it well. But I mean, I think this game is it will be something that I think you should look out for. But yeah, so I've been Foster. Thanks for watching. I think this is a good place to end because, you know, 10 minutes, the end of a round. And should you get Battlefield Hardline, don't pre-order it. Wait and see, I would say. Wait and see until we have a little bit more information about everything. Maybe a few more game modes, maybe a bit more access to things, how things are going to be in the actual game, and then maybe pre-order it. Or then maybe buy it. At this current moment, it's an alright game. It's not bad. I would buy it at this current state just because I'm a Battlefield fan and, you know, I'd want to play a Battlefield game. It's pretty good. So, personally, I think this is a viable Battlefield game and it's fairly decent. It works. It's not buggy or broken, even though it's in beta. It is buggy, but it's not too horrible. I quite like it. You know, I think this game has potential. So, you know, let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below, like and subscribe if you did like, and I'm going to see you next time. Thanks for watching. I've been Foster, and ta-ra.